explain like the strategic rationale for doing this deal for both sides. Like, why would Box want to do this, and then also why would Costco want to do this?
Yeah, so when we analyzed, this whole deal opportunity, we found that, even though Costco is, one of the bigger players when it comes to consumer retail, with a lot of, I would say kind of sector, kind of command, when it came to e-commerce, they were really lagging behind their competitors. They were clocking in at 7%, in terms of their overall e-commerce sales, as it's a very retail or physical heavy business. So by bringing Box in, Costco really benefits in a couple of ways. So first off, Box recently did an acquisition of this another last mile delivery platform called Max Delivery in Manhattan. So by taking over, Box, basically Costco gets access to Max Deliveries, multiple fulfillment centers, which are spread around some of the denser markets like Manhattan or even like, LA, SF. And that is, one way to really boost their, revenue kind of potential, possibly get revenue synergies by, upselling, cross-selling, some of Costco's, gold tier, membership, or even their private label brands, over to, the Box's growing customer base. So that was, one kind of rationale or, idea behind it. And then secondly,
Sorry,
also,
how does this acquisition of this last mile delivery company enable cross sells or upsells? I didn't really understand that part.
so basically, because Costco mostly operates, in terms of like their physical warehouses. So their SKUs or amount of inventory they can hold at a certain time is limited to like 2,000 to 3,000 SKUs of items. Whereas by taking over Max Delivery or Box, it actually boosts their SKU count to 10,000 SKUs at a given time. So they can have way more inventory at one point, and that would kind of provide them more purchasing power, more power when it came down to contract negotiation with some of their vendors in the network, and then really help them kind of lower the costs, as well as charge a similar or even a higher revenue per product or per item. So that's where we kind of saw the value.
So basically, being able to do last mile delivery allows them to hold a lot more SKUs, which then allows them to be able to more effectively upsell and cross sell and increase their revenue that way. Okay. Okay. Sorry, continue. What else?
Yeah, so secondly, also based on our analysis, we found that if Costco were to target some of the denser markets, such as Manhattan, opening up a warehouse there, it would really cost a fortune. And based on our analysis, we came down to roughly $130 million in form of free cash flow disbursement, which Costco can potentially evade by taking over Box and really getting access to their fulfillment centers, which are already in place, through Max Delivery. So that was another thing we looked at. And third, Box is very unique in the sense that it is a pseudo consumer as well as a tech platform. So based on an analysis, we found that every time a customer shops at box.com, they go online. With every purchase, the AOV or average order value goes up by roughly 11% with every purchase. So by having Box and integrating them on their back end, it would really help boost Costco's lagging e-commerce sales, which was clocking in at 7% at that time, and really give them that leg up in this whole digital kind of consumer competition that we see, where every other retailers really trying to get ahead of. So based on these three elements, we felt that Box would be a good kind of synergistic addition to Costco platform.
Hey guys, we're gonna get back to the content in just a second here, but before we do that, I just want to ask a quick favor from you. So we don't really promote a whole lot of anything on the channel ever. But if you feel like you're getting value from this, the one thing that you could do to really, really help us out is to just share this on your socials. So specifically what you could do is go on Instagram and share this on your Instagram stories through a screenshot, and make sure to tag us at Wall Street Mastermind. Or you can also click the share button down below just to share this on any other social media platform as well. All right. Now, if you feel like you're getting value from this and you want more content like this, also make sure to click the subscribe button down below. That will just make sure that we can continue to get more of these useful tips into your feed on a weekly basis. And yeah, really just help us promote this through word of mouth. We really, really appreciate it. And with that said, let's get back to the content.
And what about from Box's perspective?
So we felt that Box could also benefit from this acquisition, as Box is definitely a budding platform, but by having the backup or backing of Costco, it would really give a boost to Box's private label brands, which is the Print Spring brand, and they would get an opportunity to merge with Costco's premium label brands, and really get that exposure that they need to grow as a platform. And secondly, one thing that really stood out from Box standpoint is just the customer UI UX experience. Every time you shop at Box, you get free delivery on products, and there's not like a lower minimum range. Whereas at Costco, there's a surcharge of 5% every time you shop, or you put an online delivery. So by having Boxes kind of economy and then their I would say kind of pricing potential added to the Costco platform, Costco can reach even bigger demographics, the range of consumers who would not really go the online delivery route, kind of helping them save those dollars down the line.
Okay, but that last point is more so why Costco would do the deal, not why Box would do the deal, right? Or am I misunderstanding?
So I feel that it's kind of like it goes both ways, but yeah, sorry, maybe I should
Okay.
answer.
I think, look, my feedback on this one is, like if I say, hey, give me a strategic rationale for this deal from both Costco and Box's perspective, and just to stay organized, we always like to give things in like sets of threes, like we always teach, right? So I would say, let me start with Costco. So the three primary reasons why this deal makes a lot of sense for Costco. One, blah 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 blah. Two, blah blah blah, blah. Three, blah blah blah, right? And like for each of the 3 points, I had to like ask you like follow up questions to like really try to understand what you were saying. It's because like I don't think you were explaining it very clearly. Like I didn't understand, like saying like, oh, Costco buying Boxes, or saying, for that example, was like Box just recently made an acquisition of this last mile delivery company in Manhattan, and that's going to allow Costco to do more cross sells and upsells. Like, I think there's like a couple of steps in the logic that you kind of just like skipped or assumed that the listener will just get it, and I didn't get it, right? And so I think you have to like explain those things better. And each of the 3 points, it doesn't need to be more than like 2 or 3 sentences, but could simply be like, Bob, like reason number one, like, so Box actually recently acquired this company that focuses on last mile delivery. And the reason why this is significant for Costco is because by having last mile delivery capabilities, it actually increases the number of SKUs that Costco can have at any given time, right? It goes from 2,000 SKUs currently, and 5x is that all the way up to 10,000 SKUs at any given time. And what that does in turn is it allows them to have a lot more cross-sell and upsell opportunities, which then we believe that's going to have an X% lift on revenue, right? Or whatever. Like you guys probably, I don't know, maybe you guys did, maybe you didn't, but it's probably like quantify the revenue synergy. So if you did, like, might as well throw that number out there, right? But like actually like explaining the crux of the argument so that it's easier for me to understand it, right? So, but like laying out, 3 key reasons, the 3 of the best reasons you have from Costco standpoint. And on the other hand, from Box's perspective, the three main reasons why they would want to do a deal are blah, blah, and blah, right? And the same thing. That way, like, stay organized and you're not like mixing and matching, like, taking like one of Costco's reasons and like using it for Box and vice versa. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's helpful. Yeah. I think that's like one thing I'm kind of struggling with, just like being all over the place. But yeah, I guess I do write it down.
Yeah, I mean, like if you feel like you're being all over the place, then that's why you need to have frameworks that you're following for your behavioral answers, right? That's why we give you guys frameworks in the behavioral questionnaire. And I saw like some of the questions that you answered earlier, like for example, when I asked you about to talk to me about no more, like you did follow the framework that we gave you. So that's good. Like you follow the framework, like you should be able to stay organized. Now, in that specific instance, you just like you try to follow the framework, but then like you put too much into like one part of the framework, right?
Yeah.
So that's the other thing. But if you're using the frameworks, then you should be able to stay organized, right? Because like most of these frameworks are pretty simple. Like signpost, list 3 things, closing sentence. Like really, really hard to mess that up, right? Spark outline, right? Like really hard to mess that up. Like so, other than that, like I think then it's just like practice. Like if you follow the framework, you've drafted it out, you practice delivering the answers. And if you're not sure if it's still good, then like that's when you need to ask us, right? And just like get feedback. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I'll probably like send you kind of a draft of, just the return offer thing and kind of the, the story behind me. I guess that needs some work. No,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, I appreciate the feedback, and definitely needed that.
Okay.
Yeah, wasn't sure where I was going.
Yeah, I mean, look, with behaviorals, like it's one of those things where it's a lot of times it can be difficult to pinpoint what you're not doing right on your own, because whatever you're doing probably already feels like you're doing it right. That's why you're doing it that way, right? So that's why it's even more important to get feedback on it, so a lot of times, like once we point out what would be better, then and you hear it, then you're like, oh yeah, duh, that makes sense. But otherwise, you just didn't think of it, right? So does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's helpful.
Hey there, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're looking for more customized advice that's tailored for your specific situation, then I invite you to book a free strategy session with our team at the link below. We'll talk to you soon.